In this lesson, we're going to use equations to help us solve percent problems. So what we need to do is change the words in the statement into mathematical symbols and bring our numbers down, and then we can solve the equation. For example, what number? When we don't know a number in math, we use a variable. So we'll say n is means equals 41%. When of comes between two numbers, it means to multiply times 800. So again, what number was our variable? Is the equal sign. 41% of between two numbers means multiply, and then we bring down the 800. So to solve for n, we simply have to multiply 41% times 800. Now we have two choices. We can change 41% into a decimal, 41/100ths, and multiply that times 800. Or we can change 41% into a fraction, change 800 into a fraction, and multiply the numbers as fractions. So we can do one or the other. Again, we're not going to do both. So if we multiply 41/100ths times 800, we have two decimal places in the factors, so we move two decimal places in the product, and it equals 328. Or, if we chose to use fractions and multiply, we can cancel the 100 and 800 into 1 and 8, and we multiply 41 times 8 is 328. 1 times 1 is 1, and that equals 328. So either way, we get 328, which we can now say 328 is 41% of 800. If we have a problem like number 16, what percent, again, what percent is kind of like what number, and that's our variable. So n of between two numbers, because even though we don't know what this percent is, it does represent a number. So n times 496 means equal 124. So to solve this equation, again, we have to get n by itself. To get n by itself, we would have to divide both sides by 496. So 496 cancels here, and we can get n equals. But in order to find out what n equals, we have to divide 496 into 124, which means we have to add a decimal and 0. 496 goes into 1,242 times. We subtract. Oops. So we have to add another 0, bring it down and divide again. Goes 5 times. So what we have here is a decimal, but the question is asking for what percent. So now we have to change this decimal into a percent by moving the decimal to the back 2 times, and we get 25%. If we look at number 17, 18 is, what percent is our n? Of is multiplication, 48. So again, just like the previous example, we have to get n by itself so we can solve the equation. So we're going to divide both sides, in this case by 48. So when we do that, the n is by itself on the right side of the equation because the 48's cancel out. But we have to divide 48 into 18 to find out what percent that would be. So we divide 48 into 180. It goes 3 times. We add another 0, bring it down. 48 into 360 would be 7. another 0, bring it down. 48 into 240 is 5. Now again, we have a decimal, but our question's asking for a percent. So we need to move the decimal 2 times to the right, and we get that n equals 37 5/10%.